When last we left off, the party was just leaving Sisora, preparing for their travels to the hidden mountain fortress of the dwarves.
So we are only a very little ways out of town by now?
Yeah, you're literally just leaving the gates, and you're on the road, and you're going to have to turn into the jungle to head in the direction that you want to go, because there are no roads past Sisora in that direction.
Oh, and we're going to take a wagon?
Uh-huh.
That's fine. Where we're going, we won't have roads.
But I'm watching.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem.
That's the problem. Yeah, I was going to say, that's exactly the issue.
How is that going to work out mechanically, Mr. DM, sir?
Oh, it's not. You guys need somebody to be scouting a route through the jungle, and you need someone who's trained in driving a wagon through rough terrain, and you don't have one. So it's going to be awful and slow.
Grun's getting there.
I was going to say, aren't I trained there now? Hopefully, yes, by now. I got those lessons.
As I recall, you had some lessons from Ariadna a long time ago, and you didn't complete your training. You did some training, but you're not anywhere near proficiency level.
But didn't I get that reward that I was going to get trained, finish getting trained on how to drive a land vehicle? Well, at least a wagon.
But then you were never able to capitalize on it. We never got the opportunity.
I was trying to remember if maybe there was a day that I'd gotten in.
No, see, what happened was I was going to give you time to do that training, but then, Grun, you decided that you were going to go die to an avatar instead. And so...
Come on, you couldn't have worked it in there somewhere?
In the middle of dying. That was his, monologue.
Yeah, come on.
No, you haven't finished your training.
As the avatar's killing you, he's like, if you're ever alive again, remember to hold the reins tight.
Say whoa in a firm but kind voice.
Well, Grun is the best we've got, and so hopefully he'll be able to work out the remaining of his training by fire.
Oh yeah, this is gonna go great.
I don't think I'm going to be our best scout unless we can use books. If we can use books, I can probably find out.
I still think I'm the best scout.
Are you feeling okay?
I mean, I'm pretty good. Be a good backup for him.
I am also quite familiar with forests.
I mean, I think between the three of you, we should be able to find a good path.
Skippy's corpse, if you would like to blaze us a trail.
Don't call me that. I'm still Skippy.
Would you like to blaze us a trail?
All right. Don't let Jinxie near me, though.
No, I didn't like that last time.
I'll have Jinxie sitting beside me.
Well, Kin Faewyn, you could ride Kin Jinxie and have a level of control.
That's true. The fewer people in the wagon, the better.
I can try if you want.
He's very nice. Is she? I don't remember. Is she a girl or a boy? I forget.
I don't know that you've ever established it. It's gone both ways.
Oh.
Yeah, we've flip-flopped a lot. All right. With Gaelen and Skippy taking the lead to scout, you can give me a survival check with advantage. Also, which direction are you guys going in?
The right direction.
I'm following them.
I'd say it looks like we want to be heading mostly west with a slight northern trajectory as well.
Did that match up with what I read in the book, Ryan?
I think you guys did some information gathering, and there had been talk about elves going to the southern mountains and disappearing. And when people head up to the northern mountains, everything seems to be fine up there.
My concern about going a little too north is if we can stay out of the foothills before we go up into the southern ridge, if we could get to there before we cut up into the hills.
I agree with that.
Okay. So I will aim you guys right here.
Please and thank you.
Skippy has found an adequate trail away from Sisora that's wide enough for a wagon. Grun, I would like you to make a general intelligence check for driving the wagon and steering it with the horses. Sorry, I have to clarify this too. The horses are taking the wagon now, and Leo is no longer attached to it?
That's right.
Yes. And it's a 9.
Yeah. You're having some difficulty. You haven't like run it completely off the path, but it's slow going, and sometimes you need a little bit of help getting the team to back the wagon up and get back on the path. But you don't lose the wagon or anything during the process. It's just you're moving at about probably half the pace of what a good driver would be able to do.
How often will he be required to make tests on it?
I would say daily.
I will pay better attention next time and yell guidance.
Ah,
Oh, thank you.
And the other thing I was going to ask is, with me doing the survival checks to get a path, does that not give him advantage if I do success?
What that's going to do is increase or decrease his difficulty in driving the wagon. So you found a good path. So his difficulty was going to be 10. So he was close with the 9. So it's just a little bit slower than usual, but it's already slower than usual because you're driving through a jungle without roads. And you don't have like a ranger who gives the party a boost to speed through tricky terrain.
No.
Thanks for the shout out for Urine.
Yeah, no problem.
so I suggest we press as long as we can through the day, and as we get closer or farther along, we decide if we're going to put a little bit more effort into covering a bit more distance.
Okay. By the end of 8 hours, you guys have traveled what you would normally travel in about 3. And you note, somebody's going to note at this point.
Can we still see the town?
No, the jungle's pretty thick, so you might see some smoke from the town off in the distance. But
Oh, goodness.
We're going to be at this forever. I think we're leaving this. We have to leave this thing. We have to leave this thing behind.
I mean, ideally, we won't have to, because it's incredibly helpful for all of the, well, let's call it ridiculous amounts of wealth we currently still have.
I think we have to bury it in the forest.
And by the end of your 8 hours of travel, you guys do notice that Skippy's skin seems to be hanging loose, and it's all covered in
Ew.
blisters.
Skippy,
What?
take a look at yourself.
How are my eyes working?
The stuff's blurry.
I gotta be honest, I'm not seeing very well right now.
Are you okay to push a little farther?
You're falling apart.
I gotta be honest too. Tomorrow, maybe somebody else should do because I'm not seeing so well, and I think that might have a disadvantage on my abilities.
Your skin's falling off. That's concerning.
I know. I don't know what to do with it.
Grun?
Skippy, I'm hoping that after tonight, once I can ask for some new spells, that I may have some way of helping. I can't guarantee what it will do. I'll be honest, I'm grasping at straws here as to how to help, but I will do everything that I can to try.
Are we pushing another hour or 2 into this day? I suppose I'm mostly asking you, King Grun. You are doing a fair bit of work.
I mean, as long as I don't push into exhaustion, then Grun would be willing to continue pushing later into that, like not so late as like the lack of light becomes a risk, because it's not worth wrecking the wagon.
I thought we were gonna leave the wagon. Did I miss that? Sorry.
No, if we have to, I think we can like dismantle a wagon to make some form of like makeshift sleds. But I think if possible, we should try to push the wagon as long as possible. If we can make it through the forest with it, it would continue to be very useful to have.
So I've seen maps, right, Ryan?
Maps?
Yeah. Didn't you show me a map of this?
I think Gaelen saw the map.
And
Okay.
Gaelen will sketch any maps that he's seen or is working off of, so he could show.
How long is this forest? How many days normally?
So Ryan, how many days normal rough travel would I anticipate?
You'd anticipate that if you were traveling the same speed as you were on a road, it would take about 4 days.
But rough terrain.
But rough terrain
I guess
is
would
going to
be
be
8, right?
longer. It depends on the survival checks, and if you can find decent paths for the wagon, it could be as fast as 6.
As maybe 6 to 8 days can Skippy's corpse.
With the wagon. 6 to 8 days.
If we leave the wagon behind, we can probably do it in 4 days, thanks to having the horses and such.
Well, that horde. I don't know how long I traveled. It could have been hundreds of kilometers or miles. I don't know what leagues. Could have been hundreds of leagues from here.
I think we should at least give it another day and see, what kind of progress we can make. If we can sort this out, we can get the wagon moving at a smoother pace. It could still save us time.
I am also partial to hanging on to the wagon. If you wish to give it another day, try, King Grun. I think that it won't lose us much if it does lose us time.
I'm willing to take it all the way through, so long as the wagon holds up. I mean, unless it starts to become a real, obvious issue, I'm willing to push through.
How about we see if we do better on day 2 than we did on day 1?
Yes.
Faewyn and Lignyck, what were you guys up to for the day while they were scouting and driving?
I would be trying to ride the cat, Jinxie, for part of it, which is new. And
Oh, nice. I would like an animal handling check for that.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking I'll be riding in the wagon shortly.
With advantage because Jinxie has a saddle, right?
I wouldn't have ridden. Yeah, okay.
Oh, you're a natural. Jinxie's following your commands and only looks at Skippy's corpse, as Gaelen likes to call him, every once in a while, but he's not going off to go and sniff and eat him. So good job.
Thanks. So for part of the day, I'll be doing that. But for part of the day, I'd like to ride in the wagon so that I can study some of my time spells and see if I can do a little bit of research on that.
Okay, that sounds good.
And Lignyck will be following the cart, keeping an eye out for things behind us and to the sides of us and such, and just kind of enjoying the trip.
Okay. Do you want to use passive perception or roll it?
I was just going to say, Lignyck, don't tell him you're watching, because then it becomes active and you're better at passive perception.
See, I don't understand how to utilize my passives at all, just because of the logistics of how they work.
Yeah, it's basically you're just always paying attention, even when you're not actively paying attention, because of your observer feat. So if you're just riding along, I think your passive perception is 19, right?
Yeah.
So if you're just riding outside the wagon at the back, you'll be fairly aware of anything that might be trying to sneak up on you, even without looking.
That is kind of my intention, is the not necessarily actively, if something's following us, I'm just trying to actually stare at them. It's more of the riding along.
Sounds good.
Faewyn doesn't notice anything.
No, Faewyn doesn't.
We're going to push an hour and see where that lands us.
Okay.
I assume we'll all fail our rolls.
I'll help you, Scout.
Okay. Give me a survival check with advantage.
Ooh, thanks for the help, Skippy.
Yeah, not bad. So Grun, I'd like you to make another intelligence check.
Am I close enough to guidance that?
You could be, but Grun does great. And you guys managed to travel at a regular rough terrain pace. Yeah, so not bad.
Excellent.
Do we have to roll exhaustions?
Yeah, everybody's going to be rolling con saves. Difficulty is 11.
Do I in the cart reading my books?
It's still an active skill that you're doing mentally, so I would say yes.
I fail.
Gaelen and Faewyn are feeling a little sleepy. You guys have exhaustion level 1.
She will stop reading at this point in time. It's too hard to focus.
Yeah, the light is starting to fail outside. And Skippy, you notice that as the light begins to fail in the jungle, you're finding it not so difficult to see as you normally would have.
And I still have those goggles on my head too, right?
I don't know, do you?
I think so.
Oh, they're going to be a goopy mess.
Yeah, they are.
Gross.
I will kind of pull them off my forehead and pull them down over my eyes and look through them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ryan, please don't
you-
describe that.
Please.
Okay. You you can see even further with the goggles on.
Are any of his eyeballs stuck to the inside of the goggles?
Trevor.
No, his eyeballs are not sticking to the goggles.
Not yet. I will put them back up on my head and kind of compare and say to Gaelen, Gaelen, I can see in the dark.
Well, that is excellent. I think that was the purpose of those goggles.
No, without the goggles,
That is new.
what's wrong with me?
Unfortunately, I do not have the answer to that question. I never have. I think we should make camp.
Yeah, if the light's starting to fade, then Grun's not willing to push the wagon much further.
Okay. So you guys make camp, and anything you're doing overnight?
I'm going to go and try to get some food.
Yeah, I will go and look for some food with Skippy, and then there's some stuff I'd like to do when we sort of gather around the campfires.
Okay.
Oh, I get an advantage on that, don't I? There you go. 27.
Yep. You guys definitely get some food. Gaelen, your ability allows you to feed up to 6 people, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we discussed what that means. And so that just means that you get 6 days worth of rations for one person. And Skippy, you also find food.
Enough for a tiger and a panther. No?
Well, the tiger and panther can hunt on their own as well.
Oh, right.
Because the pace is quite slow. So they have no problem finding their own. And Skippy finds another 10 days worth of rations while out hunting and gathering.
I'm going to add those 10 to the group pile.
Well, you guys will have to eat too, so that's 5 days worth of rations. So you guys are up 11 days worth of rations.
Skippy will will come back into camp carrying, I don't know, half a dozen, or I guess maybe 10 rabbits.
And can you also remove 2 days worth of feed for the horses?
Yes.
Are you keeping track of that, Grun?
Yes, I am.
Thank you, Grun.
What Grun would like to do while we're waiting is he's going to distribute 3 healing potions to everybody in the party and a healer's kit. And a healer's kit as well.
So each person has 3 healing potions and a healer's kit?
Yes. So everybody is capable of helping out in an emergency or taking care of their own or someone else's injuries.
Okay.
I just got back. Should I be adding that to my character?
Yeah. Grun distributed a healer's kit and 3 healing potions to each member of the party. There are 3 left over. It's up to the party. Do we want to leave those 3 in the wagon? Do we want to give them to other people? Like, what do you guys think about the other 3? Like, how should we distribute that?
I don't think they're any good to us in the wagon.
Agreed.
I think that Ken Lignyck and Ken Skippy's corpse are very mobile and should maybe carry an extra.
Gaelen, stop calling me that.
Okay, so Lignyck's taking an extra potion. Skippy, Grun's a little skeptical at this point as to whether healing potions work for Skippy. So he's going to veto him having the extra simply until we know whether or not the healing potion will work.
Well, then the extras should stay on you, Ken Grun, so that if something happens to you, we can use the ones that you have on you.
Agreed.
Okay, so I'll take the extra 2. Lignyck has the extra 1.
I really feel like crap, so I'd like to try to drink one of these right now.
Skippy, can I ask you to hold off on that until the morning when I have a better chance of maybe helping you if this goes badly?
He doesn't want to re-kill you again.
Yes, please no, my heart can't take that again.
Alright. I really don't feel very good.
Perhaps you will feel much better in the morning.
Skippy, I sent you a message in private chat too.
Now, if you're all here, I wanted to share with you, if you have a moment. In late December, we elves try to spend some time with our families and share stories and songs. We eat too much, and we probably drink a little too much. And we have silly icons and rituals that happen only at this time of year, and have for so long that nobody can remember why. But what is important is that we are thankful for those in our lives, and we remind ourselves of that by sharing small gifts. You are my kin, so I got these for you. And Gaelen pulls out a pouch and reaches in and pulls out a small bundle of a silk handkerchief wrapped for each of you, and hands them out. And in each of the bundles is some fudge and some candies and a butter tart and some chocolate. And in Faewyn's, there's also a book of elven riddles and children's stories, and a book of songs that Gaelen says when you look at that. He says, those are songs that are only ever sung during these holidays. I don't know why.
Thank you.
Grun, in yours is a festive log.
A festive what?
A festive log.
Okay.
And Gaelen says, that's an old elven, there's an old elven fable that says while you burn it, you can wish for anything you want. And there's also a gaudy hand-knitted sweater with a large elf wearing a red hat on it. And for Skippy, there is a carved wooden reindeer, and with a particularly bright red nose. Gaelen says, I don't know why the nose looks like that. There's also a bolt case, a crossbow bolt case, with an evergreen tree carved in it, and when you rub it, it lights up in a bunch of colors.
Cool, thanks.
And Lignyck, yours has a trinket box carved with the scene of elves making toys for all the children of the world. Inside, a small, intricate toy mechanical model sleigh. And then Gaelen reaches into his pocket and pulls out, and he holds out his hand, and in it are 5 golden rings, one for each of us. And you'll see that each of them is engraved with the word kin. And he hands one to each of you.
Wow, thank you. I didn't know I didn't get you anything. I'm so sorry.
That's quite fine. You're not an elf. I wouldn't expect you to be familiar with these silly traditions.
Grun is going to, at this point, I imagine like we've kind of settled in, so Grun will have like taken off his armor, so he'll be putting on the sweater, coming over to Gaelen, giving him a big hug, and while he hugs him, he's just going to say, "Thank you. I think I know exactly what to wish for," and he'll hug you again.
You're most welcome, King Grun. You are a good friend.
As are you, Kin Gaelen. And he'll put the ring on. I'm just going to say that it's sized so that it fits on his pinky.
Probably. For the gnomes, they're thumb rings.
There you go.
And Gaelen is also sitting kind of staring at Skippy for a bit, and then maybe looking a little sad. And he'll look at Faewyn and says, I have captured Kin Skippy in my sketchbook before, but not recently. Not since he changed his appearance yet again, since Velshini. I wish I had sketched him more, because I don't have a picture of him how he most recently looked. But, Kin Faewyn, you do.
I do?
You have a love for time.
Oh, well, yeah. You want to go back in time and see him?
See, all of you sleep, and I don't. And sometimes I envy that. I envy the sweet freedom that it brings all of you from the realities of the day. But while I have that extra time, I sketched all of you in your little furry book.
Oh, very cool. Ryan, sorry. I'm just a little late. We're getting ready to make camp, right?
Yeah, you guys are making camp while Galen's handing out all the presents.
Okay, I'd like to cast Liamon's tiny hut as a ritual.
Yes!
Okay.
Perfect.
Oh.
So we can sleep in here, guys. I learned a new thing.
Oh, you have no idea how happy you've made me, because I'm sorry, I have to fill the party in because it's too good. But the ritual for Liamon's tiny hut canon is, "Hey, tiny hut," and while you do like this rain dance in like this circle, it's almost like this big circle rain dance, and it's ridiculous because I played a bard and did that in front of too many people, and it became a thing. So That's what I'm now, from now on, imagining Faewyn doing this. Anytime you say you're casting this as a ritual, just telling you.
That is exactly what she is doing, and she is doing it happily, probably in bare feet if the ground doesn't look too pointy.
Fabulous.
That's hilarious.
I love that one.
While Faewyn is creating the hut, Lignyck is actually fidgeting with the sleigh that's been given him, and
That's cool.
after a couple of minutes, he sets it down, and it actually, you can hear the sound of slaying down a hill with it emanating from it.
That's awesome.
I love Faewyn's, by the way.
That's
Love it.
amazing. Yes, Faewyn's fantastic.
Is there anything else that people want to do tonight while you're setting up camp?
After people are like getting ready for bed and that sort of stuff, and I'm sure Faewyn is reading a book by the fire or something like that, right?
Hopefully not too close to the fire.
Not right by the fire, just enough to get good light.
Yeah, exactly. So Skippy will kind of come up and shyly at your elbow and kind of be like just kind of in your space awkwardly for a little bit.
Hey, Skippy, what's up?
I was wondering something.
Yeah, what was it?
Do you think you could do me a favor?
Depends what it is. I don't know if I can even do it.
I know you do it. You do it all the time.
Read something for you? I'd be happy to.
Well, not exactly. I mean, it probably would involve reading.
I'm probably in then.
Okay, thanks.
What is it?
Well, you see, I never really got a chance to learn to read, and I was just wondering if maybe you could show me how.
Oh my goodness, yes, it's the best thing ever. You'll absolutely love it. Should we start right now?
I don't know. I think we'll have to start soon.
Are you okay though? We can start whenever you'd like.
I don't know how much more time I have.
To learn to read?
Can you teach me tonight?
I'll teach you as much as I can.
Will it take longer?
Well, it depends how much you want to read. You always keep learning. That's the best part of everything.
I want to read stuff like, I don't know, like what you read.
Okay, well, there's all the different languages. Should we start with common first, since that's kind of what everybody can read around here? And everybody can
Is that
talk
what you're
it?
reading right now?
I'm reading spell stuff. That would take longer.
Is that different?
A little bit, yeah. But I could teach you Common or Elvish or Gnomish. Gnomish is interesting. It's very, very different. Nothing like you've probably encountered before, but absolutely delightful. That's maybe the best spot to start when I think about it. What do you think?
What is the spell stuff in a different language than Common?
Well, do you know how to cast any spells right now?
No, I don't want to cast spells.
Then we should probably stick. Yeah, we should probably stick here. I've got some more books. We'll pick one of them. But any particular language you'd like?
What language is that one in?
Well, I've got one over here in Elvish. Actually, I have these lovely stories that were just given to me as a winter festival present from Gaelen. They would be perfect.
Well, no, the one in front of you. What's that one in?
Oh, making this hard for me. I don't even know what book I was reading because we just decided I was probably sitting reading.
Well, you had been saying that you were studying time magic, so it would have been written in specific arcane language.
Yeah. So that one.
I want to learn that.
Okay, that'll take quite a bit longer than tonight, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But I'm happy to teach you. Besides, time magic is fascinating. It'd be wonderful to share this with somebody. You will definitely like that, even better than the Gnomish.
Oh, we can start there, yeah.
Sounds good. And Faewyn will spend the rest of the night slowly teaching Skippy absolutely everything she can manage to cram into a night, and will probably, unless he actively says that they should sleep, she will stay up until then.
Okay. So the arcane language is mostly made up of runes, which tend to stand for ideas or objects. So it's not like an alphabet that you're teaching Skippy. It's to recognize and understand individual runes and what they mean.
And I imagine we would get through a small subset of them tonight.
Skippy can give me an intelligence check to see how much he absorbs. He will learn some no matter what he rolls.
Guidance.
And guidance adds a d4 to the roll.
Yeah.
How about a natural 20?
Oh,
Nice.
add the d4 to it.
Roll a 4. That's still pretty good.
Sweet.
Faewyn, you are absolutely flabbergasted at how fast Skippy picks this up. Like you're showing him runes once and he's getting them. And you actually managed to go through a large chunk of the arcane language before you guys tire and need to get some sleep.
Skippy, you are wonderful at this. Why didn't we start this sooner? This is absolutely the best. We'll be able to talk about all of this all the time now.
Thanks. I think I'm gonna go to sleep now. Good night.
Okay, are you sure?
And he collapses into a pile of corpse.
Meat.
Yeah, when he falls unconscious, it is a very strange sight to see. He is it's like his skin is a bag and the bones have just collapsed on themselves. And everything looks loose and blistery
Grun?
and gross.
Grun?
Grun is he's gonna pour a healing potion on a small portion of Skippy's pinky and see if there's any kind of adverse reaction.
He's going to do a spot test.
You don't see any reaction to the potion.
He pours the potion into Skippy's mouth.
Okay, so as you open his mouth, and the feeling of his lips and cheeks is off-putting, to say the least. But you do manage to dump the healing potion into his mouth.
I do wake up, right?
Skippy, were you missing hit points?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Okay, so that's 2d4 plus 2?
Yeah.
Okay, Skippy, you get 10 hit points back, and you don't wake up. And there's no outward appearance that he's better. He's still this meat sack that's in a pile on the ground.
Alright, Grun's panicking if there's no outward sign that he doesn't come to or anything. Like he just flopped, like dropped, like he didn't lay down or anything like that.
He literally just dropped.
It's difficult to tell if he's more or less dead than he was a moment ago.
And Faewyn was fairly panicked by that.
You know what? Alright.
Shall we bury him?
I'm worried he just fell.
Hold on. I don't know. Okay, I cast Gentle Repose.
Did you have that prepared?
It's always prepared for me.
Okay. You cast it on him, and he still looks like he looks.
I suppose we'll see if anything has changed in the morning.
I mean, we're gonna have to.
Let us not assume that he is on watch.
I don't think that'd be a good plan.
Speaking of, and Lignyck sits down and starts ritual casting an alarm spell.
Okay. So you're doing that around the tiny hut?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Kin Grun, I wanted to ask you about those handkerchiefs with those runes that you sold. You described them, and they actually sounded like they might be of some interest. I would like you to write them into my book, if you would. Those Dowreth runes. You know what I'm talking about?
The silk handkerchiefs that we sold off you're talking about?
Yes.
I think they were Orcish runes, not Dowreth runes.
I think they were Dowreth runes.
Oh, right.
What's the difference, you guys? They're all dwarfs.
Right. Grun is still not on board with the dwarfs.
Faewyn doesn't notice in the slightest.
If you could write them down, please.
Grun would. I have since erased the silk handkerchiefs, so...
I have notes that I can pull up.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you, because I don't think I can read the remains of what was written.
I believe that it was something like strong stew, Disc Glow Earth, Chief Sun, and Herd Cast? Or was it Hard Cost?
Is you calling this up from memory? Wasn't that like our second game?
I was gonna say, because if you remember that, I am flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the one who had that recorded, and I don't remember that shit.
I take notes.
Thank God. So, I mean, after casting Gentle Repose and not seeing anything happen, and knowing that none of the spells that I have been of any benefit, Grun is going to sit down and start furiously praying for his new set of spells.
Okay.
Yeah, because his time of prayer is always dusk. So.
And there's nothing else Gaelen would to do this evening except watch. But we can do that from inside a tiny hut now, so that's good.
Yeah, it's nice in here.
What are you doing with my body?
I've posted what the runes were, and if someone wants to give me a religion check, I can tell you about Dis.
I can look at that.
I mean, is Grun allowed to make religion checks anymore?
Sure. This one's a fairly easy one anyway.
Why?
Sorry?
I saw Faewyn's +8 to religion versus my +4 to religion, and I was about to get indignant, and then I realized that it really feels appropriate to how Grun has always rolled religion. That
Right.
And it's Faewyn. You know, she likes to know things.
Yeah, she's pretty bright. She knows stuff.
Yeah.
like it makes sense, but for a moment, Grun felt a little indignant.
What do you know about religion and sacrifice?
It's fascinating, I tell you.
So, Dis is the second level of Hells.
We're not headed there, are we? This silence is making me uncomfortable.
Hopefully not. I mean, they're just these are just the runes that were on these handkerchiefs. I don't know if they necessarily have any relation to our task. We just simply discovered them with some other art pieces.
Ryan, so is that only 3 runes then?
Yes, you only had 3 handkerchiefs. Those were the 3. There was Strong Stew, Disc Glow Earth, and Chief Sun Hard Cost.
A hearty stew to get to the second level of hell is pretty horrid.
Wah, wah, wah.
Normal everyday orc stuff.
Is that everything for the night before you guys go to sleep?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
The night passes uneventfully in your tiny hut, and you wake up in the morning, and Skippy reanimates. He rises up from the ground and looks pretty much like he did before he went to sleep. But Skippy, since the spell was cast after you collapsed, your lungs no longer work, and you cannot draw breath to speak.
Oh no.
May I be the first to thank you, Ryan.
Well, I guess I can turn this off now, eh?
Kin Grun, is Kin Skippy's corpse dead or not?
I haven't the damnedest idea. Not the damnedest. Not a single clue as to what is going on with Skippy, but I hope I have a solution. I'm going to leave you hanging there for a second while I get this set.
On the plus side, Skippy, your body is remaining in the state that it was in. So your skin is hanging loose off your body and is all blistered and oozing, but it's not getting worse.
Oh, thanks for prolonging that, Grun. That's great.
Sorry,
Another 10 days of this. Wonderful.
I didn't have a choice. I use remove curse.
Okay, nothing happens.
Son of
Is it working, Grun? Oh, I can't speak. And I'm like looking at my hands and looking at my it's not working. But he's just mouthing it.
Gaelen will take a piece of parchment and his pen and put it in front of Skippy.
Skippy will look at him in abject horror.
And Faewyn's looking pretty horrified too.
Kin Skippy's corpse. You understand some letters now.
Well, not letters, runes.
All right, once again, lesser restoration. Can I get him his voice back?
Nothing changes.
Kin Grun, can you not speak with the dead?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't prepare today.
What?
Speak with the dead.
I didn't anticipate that either.
Yeah. I've heard just about everything else I can think of, except for speak with the dead. I guess it might be an ongoing thing. I'm gonna look at Skippy and ask him, Skippy, I know you can't talk or anything. I don't. I'm gonna have to keep thinking on what else I can do. But for right now, do you still feel like you're injured?
I don't know. How do I feel?
Actually, your hit points are completely restored with a long rest, unlike everybody else.
Oh, thank goodness. I didn't want to have to use that spell.
Do you want us to bury you?
Yeah, he's just shaking his head and he's like, no, no, no.
Does that mean yes?
I don't think he wants to.
Safe to say.
It might help.
Skippy is kind of backing against the wall.
I don't think you should bury him unless he wants you to. That's really not friendly.
No, of course not. Faewyn, can you speak with his mind?
I don't think so.
No.
Well, Kin Skippy's corpse, if you need anything, make sure to get someone's attention.
Kin Skippy will just look at you. Or Kin Skippy, God damn it, you got me doing it now too.
At least you didn't say Kin Skippy's corpse.
Yes. Skippy will just look at you and like, and how can I see today?
Your sight is the same as it was yesterday.
Oh, okay, good.
Lignyck actually pulls out his tools. Give me 1 second. Give me couple minutes. And he goes to work with his tools. And I'm trying to find a time frame, how long it will take.
Kin Faewyn, your cleanup spell, could that clean up Kin Skippy's corpse some?
I can try. That's the first time I've ever tried anything like that, though, but I'll give it a go. And I just try and make things better, Ryan.
Uh-huh.
I'll start with, like, one arm, maybe. Whichever hand he's not. If he's normally right-handed, I'll start with his left arm.
Okay.
And if it only works on the clothing, etc., that's fine. I would rather err on the side of caution than not caution.
So what are you starting with?
Left hand, remove any grime or dirt not part of his body.
Remove dirt not part of his body. Okay. So, I mean, Skippy's always been a little dirty since he's opposed to bathing. And he's had a rough time for the last little while. So he's pretty filthy. So you do manage to clean the skin on his hand, but the sagginess and the blisters remain. Although the prestidigitation does clean up some of the ooze that has come out, but it's not long before fresh oozing comes out.
Faewyn's looking kind of green. And goes, is that good or bad?
So Skippy.
Does that hurt Kin Skippy's corpse?
Skippy's like looking panicked at Faewyn's response, and he's like checking himself to see if he's like lost something or.
No, you're just oozing, honey. You're oozing.
Faewyn, can you give me an insight check, please?
Oh, probably not.
Guidance.
Oh, that'll help.
Can I help her?
No. This is just her trying to understand what's going on with Skippy. It's not. So yeah, you get the sense that he is. He's panicking because you're panicking.
You're just oozing. You're just oozing. I'm just not used to oozing.
I'll back you further. Just out of curiosity, I was just thinking this morning, what happened to our stronghold?
It's in Lignyck's pocket.
Okay.
I thought the stronghold was what we were in.
No, we were in the tiny hut.
We could be in a tiny hut in a stronghold.
Yep.
This is good for traveling right now.
Or we could try to turn the stronghold on in the tiny hut and see what happens.
No breaking my tiny hut.
Oh.
Or
Okay.
she will stop doing that to Skippy unless actively encouraged by others. Unless Skippy, do you want me to keep doing that?
Well, Skippy keeps trying to like wipe the ooze off his hands, and it's like accumulating on his fingers, and it's like he's like doesn't know what to do with it, and he's like,
Okay, she'll keep trying to help. Stop wiping. I'll help. And she's looking queasier and queasier, but silent the whole time.
I'm almost wondering, do we make an attempt? Does it make sense to attempt to, I don't know, mummify him?
We could bury him.
Well, I don't mean like fully mummify him. I mean like wrap him in bandages to restrain the oozing.
Skippy has a light bulb look on his face and pulls out the healer's kit from his backpack
You want one of us to use that on you?
and pulls out the bandages.
Grun, can you bandage him?
Yep, Grun is perfectly used to like corpses and stuff like that, so it doesn't bother him. So yeah, Grun will go to work, bandaging him up.
If it requires a roll assist,
Okay. No. No. There's enough bandages in a healer's kit. Like, there's 10 uses in it, right? So there will be enough to mummify Skippy.
I've performed enough like funeral services, and I've done this before. Like this is nothing.
Yeah. So you use up the entire healer's kit, and the bandages.
Yeah.
While you're putting them on, blisters that hadn't yet popped do, and it's gross work, but you managed to get them wrapped.
As we're sort of pulling, like, I assume that I'd have to like take off my armor and kind of, down to my skivvies. So
Just no.
yeah, well, he's pulling his armor off because he doesn't. I want the wrapping underneath the armor because I don't want it all over the armor, even though the armor's probably already covered. But he'll also see the state that the magical tattoo is in.
It's not in good shape.
He'll pull it out.
The tattoo's been damaged beyond repair, so you can't get it back.
Oh, who earns to that? So mean, Ryan.
I know.
Okay, I will allow myself to be mummified, and then I will get dressed again, and then I'll look at Faewyn and like with my arms out to the side, as in like better.
She'll nod and still looks a little green around the edges, but yeah, good job.
You could clean his armor up so that it doesn't look so gross.
She will do that.
He'll give you a thumbs up, and then he'll look at Gaelen and make like his fingers walking motion.
That's an excellent idea. King Grun, are you ready to push on another day and see how it goes?
Absolutely.
All right. Whoever is doing the scouting can roll survival check with advantage.
I'll help Gaelen.
Can I get that guidance, Lignyck?
you can.
15.
Okay. You both rolled well. So you are managing to make it through the jungle at the regular half pace through difficult terrain.
So we'll push the day, and if we reach our full days unaccosted, we will try to push a little farther.
Faewyn's going to sit in the cart reading about magic.
You guys don't have any trouble.
Then we'll push 1 hour to begin with.
Okay. You guys can give me another survival check and intelligence check.
And I'll help.
Guidance.
Thank you.
Oh, Gaelen.
Wow.
We might
Yeah,
be
you guys.
stopping
You guys don't get anywhere. You're not able to find.
Just can't find a spot between trees big enough for a cart.
Yeah, not here. And so yeah, there's not really anything that Grun can even attempt to do right now, other than back it up, which he manages to do until you find a spot that you figure you'll be able to try in the morning. But for now, everybody needs to give me Constitution checks DC 11.
Exhaustion.
Unnatural 20.
And I am.
Then we will stop. Obviously, look for food and make camp.
Skippy, if you're going to hunt for food, you'll need to do so at disadvantage since you're exhausted.
If you're exhausted, I'd say skip it. We have enough rations that we can manage a day.
I will make another tiny hut tonight. Is the ground soft enough for bare feet?
Yeah.
Excellent. She calls the tiny hut in a little dance in bare feet.
So Gaelen, you get typical 6 rations, and Skippy finds 2.
I'm going to retro game and say I didn't go because I was exhausted, and maybe I'll study with Faewyn after she does her tiny hut.
How are you going to ask Faewyn to teach you to read?
Oh, he won't have to. She's still excited about this if he looks the slightest bit interested. She will babble on about it even though he can't respond.
And he will do his best to indicate that he understands and stop her when he doesn't understand. So I assume it would slow us down, but
she'll be checking for asking, and she'll be waiting for nods and shaking of heads. She's very excited about this.
Skippy, I would like you to roll an intelligence check at disadvantage since you're exhausted.
Guidance.
I just see Lignyck riding around on Krabby, pointing at people and saying, "Pay attention."
11.
All right. So you do pick up a few new runes. It's nowhere near the same pace as what you'd done the night before. Some of it is just going over some of the runes that you had learned the previous night and making sure that you still remembered them. But the new stuff isn't sinking in as fast, and that's probably just because you're tired.
I am going to do an alarm once the hut is set up again, like I did the previous night, and I'm running to get some water.
Okay, so you have your tiny hut that is alarmed. Is anybody else doing anything tonight?
Yeah, actually, Skippy will, while he's with Faewyn, he'll take a stick and on the ground he will draw a cube shape.
You want the tall fortress?
Give me a performance check.
Okay.
Oh, and you probably want insight from me.
Yeah,
Good luck, Skippy.
it's a good drawing. She might be able to figure it out. No.
But she is fairly bright, so she might get others to look at Skippy's very fascinating drawing.
Yeah, you recognize it as a cube, but you don't understand the meaning behind it.
I pantomime like my fingers. I put them like all in the cube, and then I make it go really big.
I think he wants to blow up stuff, you guys. Somebody should look at this.
Yeah, Grun, you know what he's talking about.
All right, what are you talking about, Skippy?
The cube, and I point at it again. What happened to it?
King Lignyck has that in his possession.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I forgot about. I was absent for this. The fortress, right?
Yeah, the instant fortress is, when it's not active, is just a small 1-inch metal cube.
I forgot we had that because I wasn't here when we got it, so I completely forgot that it was a thing.
He'll go to Lignyck and
Lignyck will pull it out.
yeah, and he'll give a questioning look, like with his hand out a little bit. Yeah?
And you'll hear Faewyn screech from the other side of the tiny hut. Don't break my hut!
Yes, we should not use that if we don't need to. It's a much easier thing to notice than a tiny hut. And of less protection.
But it's this fortress of solitude.
If we end up surrounded by a horde of enemies and we need a position to fight back from, we can use that.
All right. He tosses it back to Lignyck and goes back to the fire looking pouty.
I will put it back away.
We could bury you if you'd like.
I'm dying from that, by the way.
Every time.
Skippy actually gives him kind of an angry look at that one.
That's also reasonable.
Not to make light of it, but are you able to make an angry look? Like physically?
I'm wondering if he's able to make a not angry look.
I don't know.
Yeah, you can look angry.
Here's my angry look. Don't laugh all at once.
It's not very intimidating.
I'm sorry, Kin Skippy's corpse. Of course we will not bury you unless you ask us to.
Skippy just throws his arms up and turns his back at you.
Everyone get a night's rest. I'm on first watch.
Skippy, Skippy, Skippy!
Actually, can Lignyck and I be on... Oh, and maybe Grun be on ends. Or Grun, you do yours in the evening?
Yeah, at dusk is when I do my prayers. And tonight Grun wants to attempt to commune with Dowreth about Skippy.
Oh. Give me a persuasion.
Okay. Guidance.
Guidance.
I didn't say it quick enough, but
15.
You don't get a response.
God damn it, you tight-lipped bastard.
Skippy,
He'll turn and look.
I want you to think about the most important one thing you want to tell us, and think about it and have it ready for the morning, okay?
He'll look at you, then look at Faewyn, and the others and then shake his head and shrug.
Do we make it through the night unaccosted?
Yes.
Wait, what's the matter with you?
Shh, shh.
I rolled low.
You must really be out of sorts.
I rolled low.
And we're in a hut with warning on.
Yeah, the tiny hut hides you guys pretty effectively.
And then add the alarm spell to it.
Then you'd know if trouble was coming.
Yeah, but the big... Oh, wait, never mind. I'm shutting up right now.
Excellent. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt, Lignyck. Go ahead.
Once we wake up, Lignyck will look at Skippy. Skippy, can I have goggles back for a few minutes, please?
Yep. He'll take him off of his forehead and hand them to you.
Actually, it'd be more than 4 minutes. I'm gonna break them, and I'm gonna do something else. If you need them back, you have to tell me, and I'll have to do them in the morning. Okay?
He can't tell you, Kin Lignyck. He doesn't make any noises.
He can. And Lignyck makes this really ridiculous where he forms his fingers into circles and holds them upside down to his eyes. He can do it like that, and that'll work. But
Oh, brilliant.
but give me a minute.
Wait. He's waving his hand. And then he points at his eyes, and then he points at Gaelen.
You want Galen's eyes?
Can I roll insight?
Yes, you can.
Assume Faewyn rolled an insight and got that out of it.
You did great on insight. What are you trying to tell him, Skippy?
I think he's trying to say that he can see the way I do at night.
He can see out of your eyes? Ooh, how creepy.
So you don't need them. You don't need the goggles.
Can you see in the dark in Skippy's corpse?
Kin Skippy will stomp his foot and look at you with disdain.
Lignyck is totally oblivious to what is going on, and he's fidgeting back and forth between the goggles and a pair of pebbles that he's found.
Faewyn is jumping up and down and clapping.
I thought that was what you were doing. Good idea.
So I don't know how long it takes to attune an item.
A short rest.
So an hour. Not attune an item, sorry. To create one of my infused items.
Is everyone healed up, by the way?
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long it takes to make confused items.
2 thumbs up from Skip.
So glad they're still attached.
His infusions are kind of like, morning prayers. I don't think they take a specific time. He just can do them.
Whenever you finish a long rest, you can touch a non-magical object and imbue it with one of your artificer infusions, turning it into a magic item.
Cool. Sounds like it's instant.
Okay, so I am going to do it to these 2 pebbles I'm holding. Lignyck will get up. He'll walk over to Grun. He'll hand him one.
Thank you.
He'll walk over to Skippy and he'll hand him one. And he will say, "Okay, these are sending stones. You can think one thought back and forth. You can't have a whole conversation, but if you need to relay something of importance, Skippy, you should be able to use that, I think. I don't know if you actually have to talk for it to work. I don't think it does, though. I think it'd be good. So, like I said, if you have something really important you want to say now, it would be your chance, but then you wouldn't be able to use it again for the rest of the day."
Skippy will shake his head, but give you a thumbs up.
And I gave it to you, Grun, because you're more versed with the healing than I am. And you have a very strong interest, it appears, in making sure that Skippy stays safe, which is good.
Excellent. Thank you, Lignyck. This could be very helpful. I really appreciate this.
Excellent problem solving, Kin Lignyck.
And I'll do that every morning if you use it. I'll keep making it.
Cool.
Shall we hit the road, Kin Brown? How are you feeling about the cart? Are you feeling more comfortable with it, perhaps?
Well, I will let you know in a moment. Not feeling super confident today. I mean, last night it's kind of shot. Last night shook my
Hey, guidance could double that.
Ta-da!
And it did. I think I got it. I think I can do this. It's probably not going to be good. I'm a little shaken up from last night's little kerfuffle, but I'm willing to keep going.
So, Ryan.
Yeah.
Is my bones still attached to my flesh?
Kind of. Your flesh feels like it's hard to explain. It doesn't feel like it's a part of you.
Right. Like I'm wearing a fat suit.
Yeah, you have this sense that when you move, it's your bones moving, regardless of the rest of you. So it's this it's this strange sensation of wearing a suit, and then wearing bandages on that suit and armor on the bandages. Like you've got a lot of layers on, and it feels clunky.
And I would have probably noticed by now that I don't feel pain with the flesh, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Does he feel anything with the flesh?
No.
So he very likely would be causing an awful lot of injuries to his flesh.
Yeah, he's not looking great.
There are people that suffer of that where they can't feel, and so they injure themselves like dramatically and often.
Yeah, I mean his bandages have torn, and he hasn't really noticed. And also the bandages are soaked through with ooze. So I don't know if you're planning on changing those every day, but he looks pretty gross again.
Would prestidigitation work on cleaning the bandages?
Yeah, you can clean the bandages with it.
Yeah. You're so smart.
Okay, Faewyn will do that.
Faewyn must be just loving this job.
Faewyn,
I clean up the biological waste.
you guys can just see this is a challenge for her.
Lignyck, do you have mending? Because you could repair the bandages instead of having to replace them.
What do I do?
You're like the murder scene cleanup crew.
Yeah, once you guys clean him up, he'll give you the thumbs up and indicate that we should get going.
All right, we go.
I'm actually going to do one more infusion this morning, if I'm allowed to. Still.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Grun,
Yes.
can I borrow your pouch for a second, please? Pouch.
Pouch? Yes.
Pouch. Give me a pouch.
Here. Yeah, here.
And it is now a bag of holding.
Cool gnome.
All right. I untune to the staff of the adder and put that sucker in the bag, along with all of our other stuff from the cart. That can feasibly fit within my money pouch.
What kind of items are you putting in there?
I'm just going to take a look, and I'm obviously running all of this by the party, but all of the money is going into this bag, if everybody agrees to that. Aside from, like, if anybody wants, like, to have money on them as spending money, obviously, like, that is always something I just distribute.
And one of the horses.
You're putting a horse in there?
No. I'm assuming I could fit the oil flasks, alchemist fire, acid vials, holy water, and maybe the pittons.
Ensure that it doesn't weigh more than 500 pounds or exceed a volume of 64 cubic feet. We know how that ends.
64 cubic feet is a lot, so just keep an eye on. Keep an eye on the weight.
Yeah. So the coins would be the largest amount of the weight of what I was just putting in there, which was 63.5 pounds, I think I calculated. And then the remainder of what I was looking to put in there are individually relatively light. The 50 pittons would be really the only other significant weight addition, and that is still well under the 500 and or 64 cubic feet. So yeah, it would be things just like the oil flasks, alchemist fire, acid vials, and holy waters, unless people want those distributed amongst party members.
Well, all sounds right.
Does that all sound good?
Yep.
Okay, I'm just gonna make like separate lists. What's in the cart? What's in the bag of holding? Lignyck, thank you. You have significantly helped solve the problem of transporting things.
I'm sorry I didn't think of it sooner. That's something I could have made when I first met you guys.
You can probably throw all the bedrolls and
It's my money pouch, so I don't think the opening is large enough to fit the bedrolls in. Because that's the rules of a bag of holding, is it has to be able to fit through the opening of the pouch.
If you want, we can do it to a different bag if that'll make things better, but it has to wait till tomorrow.
I mean, yeah, if we can change it over, okay, yeah, if we can change it over tomorrow to maybe like a backpack, that would be really helpful just for the size of objects that could be transferred in and out of the bag.
Okay.
again, Ken Lignyck. Excellent problem solving. And we will push the day, see what it brings us.
All right. So you already did a survival check. Grun, can you give me an intelligence check for steering the cart through the path that Gaelen found for you?
Guidance.
And Ryan, Faewyn will continue to study her spell books.
Sounds good.
17.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to follow the path that they find for you and continue for another 8 hours at a normal pace, cut in half. So you make about another 4 hours of progress.
And we'll push an hour.
Ryan, how many days rations for the cats and horse did I have to remove last night?
Oh, 2 for the horses.
So I rolled my survival for our hour push.
Okay. I need an intelligence check from Grun still.
I think we can assume that he's guided.
19. I'm at this point when we're rolling for the cart, unless like we've been in like combat or something where Lignyck has cast spells, I'm just gonna assume I'm getting guidance unless you say otherwise, Lignyck.
That's probably a safe bet. Yeah, so you guys managed to make it another hour.
And you need some con saves, yeah?
I sure do.
17. Faewyn, look at you.
What is getting tired?
Yeah, you guys are getting used to this now.
I'm really excited about the stuff I'm reading.
And we'll push again.
Guidance for Grun.
22.
All right, you guys push on an extra hour.
And some saves.
And some saves. They're now DC 12.
Okay.
Yeah, Galen's like, I'm getting sleepy, guys.
All the trees are starting to look very much alike.
Yeah,
Skippy's like walking beside you, and then he falls down into a pile of bones.
Oh no! Who's gonna scoop Skippy up?
I think that's the sign that this is where we're making camp, as long as it's a decent place.
I think that's an excellent idea.
Can we make sure that this is a good place to set up camp first? Like survival check style?
Well, I'm gonna make my little hut and we're gonna go in there. I don't want to sleep out here if we can sleep inside somewhere nice.
Oh, still, yeah, just like from like checking the area and making sure there's no like serious problems. You know, he just collapsed. We're in a random spot right now.
Sure, I'll have a look around. You gonna give me a hand?
Absolutely, I will.
Guidance.
Gaelen, what's your survival? Mine's +3.
it would have been a straight roll because Gaelen is exhausted, but you're fine.
17 plus 21.
Yeah, you find a nice spot that's out of the way.
All right, perfect. Yeah, we'll cover Skippy again.
Not with dirt.
I'm not scooping him up. Well, actually, wait, he's all bandaged, so he's not as goopy. I'm not picking him up though. I'm gonna roll him onto a blanket, which is now like Skippy's blanket, like purely Skippy's blanket, and I'm going to bring him closer to the center of the camp.
Okay.
Ryan, I assume that a level of exhaustion will impact my food fund?
Yes.
And
I'll
given
roll
that
a D-
Skippy's out, Grun will attempt to try to help if he can.
I'm just going to roll a d6 and subtract it from your usual 6 since you're exhausted. So you find 2 rations.
Got a 12 on survival.
Grun, you find 1 ration as well.
Okay, so that's enough to 2 of us. So
Thank you for your help, King Grun. The trees really are starting to look an awful lot alike.
yes, you guys need a good night's sleep. I think you maybe should take a little extra time if you can. Just catch up.
Is Faewyn going to do her?
I'll make a very cute little house after a little bit of a rain dance, except for no rain, please. And if it's comfy enough, barefoot, definitely. I want a good house.
And alarm.
Does she mind if we clap along?
Oh no, she'll get you guys to join in if you will.
Totally will.
She'll actively encourage that.
Not with the dancing, but we'll, clap and...
No, she wants you to dance. Barefoot.
Well, now, King Skippy, you want to see someone who can dance. King Skippy spent an entire night dancing with a fae and lost 70 years of his life.
What do you mean? How can he do that?
I'm not sure how he can do the things he does. Some of them don't make sense at all, why he would just wander off.
Skippy, you need to tell me this. You have the stone, right? This seems urgent.
Skippy's unconscious.
Skippy, wake up. and she turns fairly enthusiastically to Gaelen. Tell me more. I need more info. This sounds interesting.
Unfortunately, I wasn't there. All I know is that he ran off while he was supposed to be on watch. And when he came back in the morning, he was like 40 or 50 or many years older than he was when he left.
And you didn't ask any questions?
I asked him why he wandered off.
That's not the question. And Faewyn is currently torn between looking frantically at Gaelen, trying to get more information from him, and trying to get Skippy to wake up. And it's clear that this is now the only thing she is going to be able to think about tonight.
It didn't seem out of place, Kin Faewyn. I mean, we had spent 3 days in there, and it had only been 1 day.
What? More info?
I'm afraid that is all the info I have.
How do you spend 3 days in 1 day? I need more. Where was this? I need details. And she grabs a book and starts writing down everything that Gaelen tells her.
Well, it was that way.
She gives him the most exasperated look ever. That way where? Details. Do you have maps? Can you take me there?
Oh, most definitely, eventually. I never forget a place.
Okay, tomorrow?
I don't think so. I think we're busy.
Yeah, but this could help.
It's worth keeping in mind for the future, if you think it could help.
It could definitely help.
I'm not sure why spending 3 days, but it only being 1 day for everyone else would be helpful, but...
Time magic, time manipulation. I am on the cusp of some very important discoveries, and any clue like this is an obvious clue. There's probably information there. Oh, yes, we have to go. We have to go because, see, if we could turn this all around and just go back to when there was very few undead, it would be so much simpler.
Well, then you should definitely ask in Skippy's corpse. I think if he can remember that time, of all of us, he's the one that has time traveled the most.
Grun, Lignyck, Gaelen, we all need to get him talking as soon as possible tomorrow. All of the words, as many words, because I think there's going to need to be a lot of words. This is very critically important.
Sorry, I don't know what I have that could possibly help him speak. I mean, neither speak with the dead nor tongues would allow him to communicate with us in any way like that.
Well, do you remember Kin Grun, the corny horse, from the Fey Bubble? He could speak in our minds, yes?
Yes, but that form of telepathy is far beyond my abilities currently.
Oh, we have to figure out something to do.
We just need a corny horse.
Okay, how did you get in contact with that? Should we go back and get one of them? Is it something we get, or is it someone or something?
It's a thing, and it's not so much going to be possible to go back and be certain we would run into it.
Guys. Grun, Gaelen hasn't been very informative. Do you have more details?
About the unicorn?
And all the time differences and exactly where it was located and how we rediscover it again and when we could go there and any other details about the time stuff, that would be super helpful.
Absolutely. So Grun will offer to fill her in while we're riding tomorrow.
That would be excellent.
And go through, kind of just go through the events and go through the locations and everything.
Oh, that would be so wonderful. Thank you so much. I don't know how I'll be able to sleep tonight.
Be careful, Kin Grun, telling Kin Faewyn too much. I fear that she might just be too eager to run off and dance.
Just don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. And she will step in between and try and get Shivy Grun away so that he's not listening to Gaelen.
Grun will smile and just kind of nod at Gaelen and make sure not to let Faewyn get too excited about making a detour.
Sharing information is very important if you want to establish good trust between the group.
Oh, of course it is. And good information includes information about all of the threats and issues and, negative consequences to making a hasty course direct change.
Definitely. It's very good to be prepared.
Yes. Like, after we've, done several other things first.
Fine. We'll just get all the details. Yes. Excellent.
Yep. Absolutely.
I feel like I've kicked a hornet's nest.
Yes, I think you have. The Fey realms and time shifts and different dimensions and such. Yes, I have a feeling that Faewyn is going to be lost thought and quickly going to have questions, which Grun will have no capacity to answer.
Oh, don't worry. She will try and annoy all of you to get as many tickle any details that you might possibly have in there out of your minds.
Yeah,
Helpful. Very helpful.
very beneficial, yes.
Kin Lignyck, alarm.
Alarm! Okay, quick! And I will start the ritual for an alarm.
All right, you guys have your tiny hut and your alarm, and let me just do a roll here.
I would like to say too, we still have watches. Like that's still a thing.
Yep, but all of the stuff that you have in place makes you extremely hard to find, and nothing stumbles across your camp during the night. So you wake up refreshed.
Excellent. I guess I will start my rolls.
Kin Skippy's corpse, do you feel differently today?
Did he wake up?
He gives you one thumb up.
Is the other one still there?
I think it's a measure of how good he feels. I mean, he isn't obviously like tip top, so 2 thumbs up might be pushing things. And that's a 20 on my intelligence for the cart.
Okay, I need a survival check. Oh, you guys do awesome today.
Grun, before we go, Skippy will tap you on the side. I guess not on the shoulder because he can't reach you. He'll just tap you on the leg and wave you to around the back of the cart.
At the end of the day, or
No, at the beginning.
Before we start. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll come around to the back of the cart.
Yeah. And he'll look around to see if anybody's looking, and then he'll show you his hand, and you would see that one of his fingers, the flesh has been cut off, and just the bone remains.
Oh no. Well, Grun is now freaking out. Very, very concerned, and he's gonna ask Skippy, "Did this happen overnight?"
He shakes his head and he points at himself,
You did it?
and he sort of nods sadly.
Did you do it on purpose, or just something you were doing caused it to come off? I'll ask that as 2 separate questions, so you can nod or shake your head.
Pulls out his dagger.
Is it the cursed dagger or the normal dagger?
Oh, no, I don't have a cursed dagger. That was taken off.
I have
of
the
me.
book toy now.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember where that was.
It's just a normal
And
dagger.
also, you roll sleight of hand checks all the time, so I don't know what you actually have in your pockets.
That's a good point.
That is a good point. Yeah.
Uh,
He'll take the dagger and he'll make a circle around his ring finger on his left hand because he did the pinky on the left hand, and then he'll pull the flesh of the finger and the bandage basically off the end of his ring finger, exposing another fingered bone finger.
oh, sorry. Why did Skippy just cut another finger off?
Because he thought you were confused about how he did it.
Well, yes, I understand. Okay, you did something that took your finger off, but I didn't need you. You could have mimed. You didn't have to actually cut another finger off because Jesus, I just want to know why did you cut the finger off the first time? Is more what I'm trying to figure out.
Is Grun trying to stuff the finger back on the finger?
Oh, gross.
Oh, Grun is used to dead bodies and decomposition and stuff like that. But this is outside of Grun's comfort zone, really. And I am actually going to make a roll here because, okay, it's not just, but yeah, no, Grun is just keeping his breakfast down. Just keeping his breakfast down. If it was a 10 or lower, I was gonna puke. Yeah, no, this is a much even for him. And he's gonna ask Skippy to put that. No, he's not actually, because it was already slopping off. So if you've cut it off, there's no way you're getting that back on your finger properly. Unless you just want to be a walking skeleton, I wouldn't keep cutting your flesh off, because if we do find a way to reverse this, I think you want as much of you still attached to your bone as possible.
He'll give you 2 thumbs up.
Can I? Oh my gosh. Can I look around? Are we anywhere near like a stream where I might find some clay?
Sure, why not?
Oh, thank you. I mold some clay on the bone fingers to make them finger shaped, and then wrap some bandages around. And I just look at Skippy. He's like, "So we don't worry the others. For now, let's just leave this on, and let's just not take any additional limbs, fingers, chunks off of your bones. Okay?
Okay, Skippy gives you 2 thumbs up.
Awesome.
What does that do to the fingers? Like, did that just break them? Because he just made 2 fists.
Well, if you try to actually curl the clay finger into the fist,
Yeah,
then
that's what he
it's
did.
probably going to mess the clay. The thumb would be fine, or that way you didn't cut the thumb off, right?
No, it was
Oh, yeah, you
the
did.
ring. It was a ring finger.
The ring finger.
Yeah.
All right, so the ring finger and the pinky finger now, you said, right?
Yeah.
Well, the clay was still a little wet, so it might have bent, and then if it still seems to be holding, I would say that, don't move your fingers anymore. Keep those fingers curled up from, for the rest of the day.
All right. 2 thumbs up.
Oh, man.
Right. We go back and we start traveling, I guess, then, eh?
Sure. Yeah, you guys already did your rolls for the day because we did that, and then Skippy said he wanted to go back. So, yeah, you guys managed to do the full 8 hours traveling just fine.
When
God.
Skippy says I give him the finger, he means it.
Oh, yeah. If what, Skippy does have the best way to give somebody the middle finger, and that's to cut it off and throw it at them.
Yep.
And I rolled an 11 for the additional hour.
Okay. Can I get a survival check for the additional hour too?
Good.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to make it a bit further with that additional hour. Now we need a bunch of con checks.
12.
Oh,
Faewyn
Faewyn,
sleepy.
she spent it yesterday when she rolled that nat.
Yeah.
But
Faewyn's feeling sleepy in the back of the wagon.
by the way, the whole day she has been. The reason she's exhausted is she has spent the last 8 hours ceaselessly questioning both Grun and Skippy, not caring about his bond, trying to get as much information with yeses and nos, any information she can from both of them. She has been relentless.
Grun has mentioned everything about the details of what occurred within the Fae world, the effects and the time distortion and how we managed to how we were able to avoid most of the the bubbles and get through the Fae realm for the most part. Very briefly.
Good luck on brief.
Yeah, we'll also stress that there is a horde of undead between us and the previous location. And I will be as vague about the specific location as possible for now.
How well do you stand up to 8 hours of questioning?
Ryan, what is the role for psychological torture? Saves.
That's a good question.
And I think this would definitely fall under investigation for Faewyn because that is how she is approaching this.
I think it would be a wisdom save to try to keep your cool and focus on what you're trying to do.
11. Split focus is not a great thing.
You know what? You crack. I'm gonna make the difficulty. Faewyn's was 10 plus her intelligence modifier. So no,
fair.
It's awful. Like she just goes on and on and on and on and on, and eventually you crack.
100%. 100% he would. All right. Yeah. He fully cracks and gives you everything you ask for.
Wonderful. You've been so helpful. Does she get anything out of Skippy?
Yeah, every time that you try to question Skippy, I mean, it kind of gets a little confusing as he tries to like mime out the experience, and because he's trying to get really deep with it, which means it's really confusing, so you can't figure out what's going on. So finally he just gets frustrated, and he has like a little light bulb face go off, and I assume that you have recently cleaned him.
Yep, would have that morning.
Probably every time you ask, since it is a cantrip, you could probably do it anytime there was even a hint of anything slimy. So he would put his arms out and then kind of indicate for you to do that.
Okay.
And then he would like put one hand on your hip, and the other hand he would grab or put his hand close to your other hand, and then start dancing with you.
And she'll dance with him. She will also continue questioning.
Yeah.
Try to pay no attention that one of his eyeballs points the other direction from one of the other eyeball is pointing.
She is focused now. She's not noticing any of that, which is interesting because yesterday she was kind of green around the edges on some of this, and today it's just lost. It's like she is not aware of it at all.
Yep. And you'd probably notice that he's actually a pretty good dancer.
Nice. After doing it for 40 years.
Yep.
Ryan, if Faewyn stays in the wagon, will she have to roll if we push another hour?
No, if she's resting without like focusing on reading and studying time magic and that kind of stuff, then it's fine.
How does everyone feel about pushing?
Faewyn's exhausted. Whatever, it's good. I just gotta learn more about this, and I've gotta figure out a way to talk to Skippy.
Go and lay down, Kid Faewyn. You've had a busy day.
She'll crash in the back of the wagon.
Skippy collapses again.
In the wagon?
No.
Oh, please collapse in the wagon. Oh, actually, wait, no, never mind.
Yeah.
I'll lay out your blanket for you to collapse on.
Yeah. We get to the end of the next hour, and basically he takes one step and then just collapses.
All right, yeah, roll him onto Skippy's blanket again, which you will note is a separate line item on our in the cart inventory.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, he gets rolled onto that.
Can we get away with putting Skippy in the cart for one more push? Oh, Grun failed too. No, so we're talking. Oh no, wait, but that's a wisdom. Grun, we still need a con roll for this one for you, or a con save.
Oh yeah, I can push.
So, Ryan, what say you? Can we put Skippy in the wagon as well?
Well, now that you've cleared out a bunch of the inventory that had been in the wagon, I would say there'd be room for 2 people to not exert themselves in the back. So you could pile Skippy's body in there.
Okay, here you go, Kin Faewyn.
Right up close to Kin Faewyn, yep.
Faewyn is a little lost in her own world. And you can hear her muttering about time and years and the location and bubbles, and it's just a constant stream while she's got her eyes closed.
Nice. Then you don't notice that with my 21 in Galen's nat 2026 that we fly along, I'm assuming.
We're definitely pushing this other hour.
Yep, you definitely do a good job for that part of the night, and gain another half hour of travel distance. And you can all make con saves unless you're resting in the back.
And DC 13 now, right?
Yeah.
12. So I'm now tired.
Yep.
Yep.
Come on, Lignyck, join us.
Lignyck's the workhorse of the party.
Yeah, Lignyck's still good to go.
I'm good, thanks.
All right, everyone. I think this is a hard push today. We had a good day. Let's bunker down.
Yeah.
Okay, who's gonna dance? Skippy. You should. Oh, Skippy's not moving very much, guys. I was gonna get him to dance with me for the hut, but he looks tired.
Yeah, I think we're leaving Skippy as is for now.
So who's gonna dance?
We're gonna take him out of the cart. Grun will dance with you.
And Kid and Lignyck looks like he has lots of energy.
Excellent. Then she'll start dancing for the hut.
You have a hut.
And a very clumsy dancing orc.
Oh my gosh!
Not that clumsy.
Gaelen
though.
is going to sit back and enjoy what this poor excuse for a dance he is seeing.
Yeah, that was pretty terrible.
It wasn't a crit, though.
No, that would have been even better.
Well, you can't crit fail on skill checks. So it's an awful dance.
It's just a 0.
But Gaelen will be sitting there with a smile on his face. You know how you enjoy something, even if it's a horrible example of it, but it's someone you love that's doing it, so you enjoy it that
Yep.
much more. Like if you have a family
Yeah.
member who sings poorly or something like that, you still really enjoy that they're doing it because of the joy. Well, that's what Gaelen is feeling right now, watching his family dance as badly as they've ever danced and enjoying it.
Yeah, okay, so you have a hut with some terrible dancing, and there's an alarm spell on it, I assume?
I was just about to say alarm spell when you breathe.
Okay. And another night passes uneventfully.
Feeling better in the morning?
Why can't I find a picture of a skeleton waking up? Just want a picture of a skeleton waking up. He reanimates and stretches and
10 today.
You do make progress. The survival check was pretty good.
In the morning, I didn't realize we were onto our travel already. In the morning, I would have transferred the bag of holding from the coin pouch to a backpack.
Okay.
Okay.
To allow for it to be of more use.
Excellent. Thank you. I'm going to keep the inventory that's in the cart for now still. Just because I feel like that's the stuff we want everyone to be able to access. And then the other stuff isn't as necessary to be accessible all the time, if it makes sense.
Grun, you've removed 8 rations from the horse's feed, right?
Yes, 8 rations total have been removed. We have 2 days left of feed for the horses.
So we don't need to be feeding them every day.
They just like it, but we don't have to.
Like they actually won't need to make a roll, I think, for 4 days.
Well, it's given that every day has been 2 days rations. If it would normally be 4 days, I'm assuming because it's difficult terrain and they're working that much harder, it's going to be 2 days without feed, where before they would be a problem. So we can always look around to see if we can find anything to supplement the horses' feed, as opposed to worrying about our rations or the cats, because the cats are taking care of themselves.
We also might be able to find a place for them just to graze.
I would say if we can find a place where we can find a source of food for the horses, that we would take the opportunity to stop a little earlier or pause in the afternoon to gather up some extra food for them, if at all possible.
That's an excellent idea. It would be better than running out.
Yeah, I'll allow Galen's Outlander background to gather food for the horses instead at the end of the day.
Okay. How many, would it just be enough to feed them for today, or would we gain any additional rations as well?
He would find 6 rations, as he normally does, unless he's exhausted,
Okay.
and I roll against that.
Okay, perfect. All right, then we'll
Sounds
push the extra hour as well, then.
All right, let's do an extra hour.
15?
Skippy, does Faewyn get a sense that she's going to be able to get any more information from him today? I.e., am I dogging your every move and every word for 8 hours?
Yep, but you probably wouldn't get much.
Okay. But so, yeah, she will literally be following Skippy around now the whole day. Now that Grun has broken, she feels confident she got everything from him. She's working on Skippy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the time she was done that day, she knew that there wasn't a shred of information left in Grun that he could possibly come up with.
And she very much appreciates your assistance.
He's very glad that he assisted because it's over now.
I'm just picturing him. Please, no more questions.
Yeah. Grun thought that it would be no problem. He's like, of course, yeah. Ask all the questions you want. I can be totally share. And then you started asking questions, and within probably 5 minutes, Grun was just fear in his eyes, oh no, there's not going to be an end of the questions.
She's an information vampire.
My brain.
Vampire sounds so negative. Enthusiast.
Enthusiast. There you go. That's a great word.
So that's our driving and survival for the extra push.
Yep. So you get an extra half-hour travel, no problem.
And we need con
And
saves.
everybody does con saves.
12.
Well, you're all good.
We're really close, folks. What do you think? 1 more hour?
Yes, let us risk 1 more hour.
We we don't get very far, folks. I'm sorry to say.
Nope. Gaelen finds a fairly decent path, but Grun drives it into a tree, and you guys spend a lot of time getting the wagon unstuck and making sure that everything's still okay to go. There was some minor damage done to the wagon, but it doesn't look like it will stop it from working. But you don't make a lot of progress.
I'll ask Lignyck to look into it when we stop and see either if there's any way to fix it or if it requires that much even.
Okay, we'll make camp. I will look for food, but I am exhausted.
Okay.
Then I will help again.
Skippy will actually go and help as well.
Oh, awesome. Skippy made it.
So, Gaelen, you find 5 rations for the horses.
Awesome. So they still consume 2 of the rations, correct? 2
Yes.
days of the rations. Okay. All right. Well, we still now have 5 days of regular travel worth of rations for the horses now. So
Faewyn will make us a lovely little hut tonight. She's not sure if everybody wants to join in the dancing.
yeah, Grun's constitution is good enough. He's got enough energy. He'll do the dance.
Look at that.
Oh, Lignyck did so much better tonight.
Gaelen will smack a knee.
Grun is worse. He's been sitting in the cart all day. He's a little stiff and sore.
Kin Grun, don't step on Kin Lignyck.
Maybe we'll spend some time talking to Seraphina tonight and seeing how she's
Okay.
doing. And if anything, it has been noteworthy for her in the last couple of days.
She was really interested in the story of how Faewyn's Fae familiar helped them guide the party through the Fae bubbles in that strange area that they were talking about. And she's not sure she would be able to do the same sort of thing because she is not Fae.
I see. So we should try and see if we can make friends with somebody Fae.
That might be a good thing to try, yeah.
Excellent. I like friends. They know all sorts of interesting things.
Yeah, especially these friends.
No, I know. I can't believe they only mentioned it now.
Yeah, it seems a little bit inconsiderate, considering they know that you've been trying to figure out time magic, and they went through a place with time distortions and all that kind of stuff. You think it would have come up earlier.
I really do. I wonder what else they're not telling us.
Well, that's a good question. Maybe they're intentionally hiding secrets from you, because, it looked like Grun was trying to resist your attempts to question him.
Do you think?
I think so.
He got very enthusiastic about it at one point.
Yeah, it took him a while to warm up to it, though.
That's true. He didn't just jump in with everything.
Yeah, you had to question him for quite a while.
And it was clear I was enthusiastic.
Oh, you made that perfectly clear, yeah.
I wonder why he didn't.
Maybe you'll
Do
have
you
to
think
ask
everybody
him.
doesn't want to tell me things?
I don't know. You seem to be working really hard to get information out of them, so maybe.
This is a concern. I shall have to think about this tonight.
Yes.
And Faewyn is giving everybody in the group mildly suspicious looks right now.
I would roll insight, but my internet has gone down.
I got it for him.
Thank you.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have.
Yeah, Grun doesn't really notice.
Okay.
Faewyn is somewhere.
And Skippy's not a noticer.
Kin Lignyck, alarm.
Alarm.
Everyone get a good night's sleep. If we push tomorrow, I think we will be free of the forest.
And do I pick up on Faewyn's look?
Yes.
I guess I should roll too. Eh?
Like, your passive insight is ridiculous, Lignyck, so you notice how people are feeling all the time. Gaelen, you notice too.
Actually, my passive insight is only a 14, so do you want me to roll?
No, she's being pretty obvious.
Faewyn is so subtle, as a general rule, all the time. You guys notice Faewyn and Seraphina having a chat, and Faewyn looking a little odd about it afterwards.
Suspiciously, I think is what you said.
Yeah, suspiciously.
Gaelen will probably spend 2.5 seconds trying to figure out what she could be looking at him suspiciously about, and then realize he's not bright enough to figure it out, so he'll move on.
Anything else?
I don't think so for the rest of the night. You just have to let us know if we get jumped.
If you could roll this for me, Ryan, can I make another persuasion check to commune with Dowreth about Skippy?
You roll a 19 and hear nothing.
Okay. I'm going to assume he's ignoring me. Then I will just go go to bed.
Okay, the night passes uneventfully,
Woohoo!
and you
Oh
get up
my
in the morning.
God.
I
can't
know.
believe this.
Well, what can I say? I'm rolling badly, and you guys actually have a good plan for staying undetected. So, good job.
All right, let's push. Well, let's make our
Yep.
phase travel.
Today's not a great day. You wind up getting stuck a few times. There's no damage done to the wagon along the way, but it is very slow going, and you only get a couple of hours further.
Push.
It's all right, Grun. We can see if we can make the edge of this forest if we try hard.
We'll try that extra hour.
Yeah, there's some backtracking required through the day, and wheels getting stuck in the muck. The ground here has actually gotten more spongy and wet the closer that you get to the edge of the jungle. You do successfully push on for another hour, but Grun and Gaelen and Lignyck, oh, you're all so tired.
I'm sleepy. Need sleep. Huh.
Yeah, we go bed, bye.
Faewyn's good to go.
There she is again. Why? Why are we stopping?
It's totally after this whole find things out. Yep.
Yeah, so I think we're only pushing the one extra. Does that get us up? Or to the edge?
Nope.
Alright.
Setting up camp. Doing a jig. Looking for food.
Grun is a little
Okay.
too tired for the jig tonight, and we'll just clap along.
Faewyn will dance by herself. Someone else will join.
Oh, Gaelen,
Oh, jeez.
you don't find any food today.
All of this grass is looking the same. I can't tell the difference between edible and not edible.
You're not finding grass. You're finding more moss and spongy stuff like that. Skippy, were you looking for food for you guys? You find 3 days of rations. Lignyck dances beautifully. Or wait, he's at disadvantage because he's tired.
How many days is this now?
I believe that was day 6 of traveling.
Okay.
Ryan, we should also be rolling for the horses because if they're exhausted, we need to feed them. Otherwise, they don't get their exhaustion back.
Well, we've fed them every night.
Yeah, I know that's not an issue because we have fed them every night. But if we want the option of not feeding them every day, we have to know whether or not they've suffered exhaustion.
Ah, okay.
So do you want me to make exhaustion checks for the horses?
I think so because I didn't find any food. So this would be a perfect day to not feed them. But if they're exhausted, then we have to.
And these are draft horses?
Lignyck?
Or are they riding horses? I think they're riding horses.
They were just riding horses.
One of them has a level of exhaustion.
Feed the one, not the other. Make them jealous.
And I think if we feed one, we otherwise it becomes a little bit of a juggling nightmare to remember.
And they'll remember.
And they'll remember. We're on day 2 of this horse. We're on day 3 of this horse. You know, that kind of thing.
They'll be mad. They fed him yesterday and they didn't feed me. It'll be a nightmare.
We currently have 3 days of horse rations left.
As long as they don't literally turn into a nightmare.
I don't know. If we have control over said nightmare, that
would be awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that could be really beneficial.
What are we doing right now? Have you set up camp and stuff?
Yeah, we're set up for the night.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Lignyck alarm, yes.
Hut and alarm.
There we go.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
That is how many friendly creatures come to us, drawn by the dancing that we did before we created our hut.
Exactly.
And they all come bearing gifts.
Of course, that's the way you approach friendly people.
That's the number of Draco liches that are bearing down on us.
I like my version better.
Me too.
Yeah, but mine's more Ryan's style.
Why are we giving him ideas?
And if we are, why didn't we just run with mine?
How big is the tiny hut?
Tiny.
Yeah.
One moment.
But what's the actual size of it?
They can fit 8 medium people. I think it's got a 10-foot
10-foot radius, immobile dome of force. So 20 feet across. 9 creatures of medium size or smaller can fit inside it.
So your draft horses are outside with the wagon?
They're large.
Yeah, riding horses are large.
Then they are outside.
With Krabby.
They would be unhitched from the wagon if we were staying for the night. I just want to stress this point. If the hut is up, the horses are not attached to the cart.
And they are in their battle configuration.
Yeah, what we'll need to start doing actually is because we can't bring them into the hut, is we'll have to let Skippy start erecting that tower like he wants to so badly.
You know, if they're not dead at the end of the night tonight.
As our portable barn.
Yeah, portable barn. Can you assemble the castle in portions?
No, unfortunately, the tower is an all or nothing, and it will take out your house.
Okay, I think I'm all set up now. Okay, it is dark. Can any of you see anything?
And do we know which watch this is?
I'll roll that right now. How many watches were there? 4?
Yes.
It is second watch.
So I'm just moving our night watch numbers because Grun wanted to be doing his prayers at night, so it would make sense that he was actually at first watch, and that would push Faewyn and Lignyck to last watch, and so it would be my watch.
Okay, Gaelen, you see a few wild boars coming in, snuffling around, and you hear Leo growling softly and the horses whinnying.
Enormous boars. I get the impression that they are aggressive, like that they are going to be coming for our horses.
Yeah, definitely. They're getting ready to charge as you see them.
I will say as much. They're enormous boars. They are going to attack the horses.
Do we get a chance to act before we're in active combat then?
We're in active combat, so he wakes you guys up as the boars are coming in, and we'll start the combat next time.